All righty, gang. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's 12 o'clock somewhere. It's time for the show. It's time for the show. I wish I was in Florida with all of you for iCast, but we didn't make it. So here we are. Beautiful Cabo San Lucas down at our house, and we're going to talk a little. Today's going to be very, very good, very informative show. But first, we're going to start talking about Okuma because it is Wednesday, and Wednesday is Okuma Wednesday. We always start the show out talking about our sponsors, and Wednesday is their day. It's Okuma's day. I'm going to move you over just a little bit, Finn. So, gang, Justin and his wife Amanda have donated their boat for one lucky person that we're going to draw the name out of the hat. You want to leave some stars over on Facebook on our business page on Your Saltwater Guide. Go over there, leave some stars. That'll enter you into the contest to win the cool 3/4 day trip that Justin and his wife Amanda are offering up for one lucky person. We're going to pull that name out of the hat on July 31st. And how do you get into that raffle? You got to leave some stars over on our Facebook page at Your Saltwater Guide on Facebook. And then you'll be entered into the contest. And then Kelly will pull your name out of the hat and we'll send it off to Justin and Amanda. They'll give you a call and you guys can set up a bitchin' 3/4 day trip on bowline sport fishing. If you don't know who that is and you don't know what I'm talking about, Justin's over there on Facebook right now. He'll be posting his website for his fishing boat charters. Also, it's available to you if you go to my website. We link right on to his charter boat operation. He does a phenomenal job. He takes people out every day and catches them fish. He follows simple game plans that I put out on my website, yoursaltwaterguide.com. And by doing that, he seems to always end up catching his people some fish, following the simple recipe that I laid out over all the years of fishing for a living in Southern California. How long has it been? 48 years I've been fishing for a living in Southern California, gang. But I don't know everything, and I never claim to know everything. All I know how to do is catch fish and take you out there and show you where they are and how to catch them. And if you follow the simple plan, you may end up catching some fish. Another way to win a prize is be a subscriber on our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube and type in Your Saltwater Guide. We have thousands and thousands of videos on YouTube. You can check them out. And when you subscribe there, that'll enter you into the contest to win a case of Baja Jerky. They're putting together a combo pack. It'll have all kinds of different flavors in it. And I got plenty of clients on here that know how good that Baja Jerky is, and they're more than happy to let you know. And you go to bajajerky.com and order yourself some Baja Jerky. Put in the code YSWG and the number 30, and you'll save 30% on the Baja Jerky. Today is Okuma Wednesday, but we're going to talk about safety on your vessel here as soon as we get going. But, gang, I want to show you. I don't know if any of you saw the show that we did a few months back where we gave away this CORTEZ 5 to one lucky person. But I'll tell you what, I love these CORTEZ 5s. These things stand up. If you know me, I'm very, very hard on equipment. We catch a phenomenal amount of fish, but we really beat up our reels and rods because we're fishing every day. So they don't get wrapped up in a nice velvet bag and placed on they're sitting on a rod, getting the living bejesus beat out of them. And I'm telling you, these CORTEZ 5s hold up phenomenal. You're going to love these things. And the star drag is the number one reason why I love them so much. I'm old school, baby, and I like the star drag. Makes the reel much lighter when it doesn't have the lever drag. Castability of these things is phenomenal. They work great rockfish. They work great for that small bluefin, yellowfin, dorado, calico bass fishing with these is insane. The CORTEZ 5, gang, if you don't have one of these in your arsenal, go get one. Go to your tackle store and get a CORTEZ 5. These things are incredible. They fit perfect in your hand. They're great. Kelly has one on her favorite rod, her custom rod she had built. She loves the CORTEZ 5, and so do I. Just durability, castability, crankability. The big power handle on here helps you grind those calicos right out of the kelp, right out of the boiler rocks. the Cortez 5 is a must-have in your arsenal if you're a fisherman in Southern California. I don't care, in Florida, anywhere. If you fish, you got to have a Cortez 5. If you're at ICAST right now, and I know there's a lot of people at ICAST that watch my show every day, go over to the Okuma booth and tell them, let me see that Cortez 5. I want to touch one, feel one. I want to see what it's all about. Captain Dave is telling you to go to the Okuma booth at ICAST and go check out this reel, gang. You will not be disappointed. And then another really good thing about it is it's priced to the consumer. It's priced so you don't have to take a second out on your house. You can actually purchase one of these today with the money you have in your pocket. They're very, very reasonably priced, but besides all that, they work. They work phenomenal. Go check out the Cortez 5, all right? So, gang, this week, a lot of crazy stuff happened on a lot of boats. A lot of really crazy things happened. Our good friend, Alec Rogers, had a horrible mishap happen a couple of days ago down here in Cabo. He lost his boat. Him and his passengers were in the water, are in their life raft for an awful long time. And then they were saved. It was a big deal down here. Another boat hit the rocks. Another boat drove up on the beach. Another boat ran into San Clemente Island. This week's been just a gnarly week for boating. And I thought we would talk about it and go into the safety aspect, something that we haven't touched on for a very long time. I talked about it last year, but I haven't touched on it this year. So now, when you go down to your boat, today is the beginning of your new life on your boat. You want to go check all your safety equipment. You want to go make sure all your safety equipment is up to date. If you have a life raft on your boat, it's imperative that that life raft is up to date. And if it's not, and you don't have the money right now to get it up to date, it shouldn't be on your boat, because it could be a very big liability when you go to use it and it doesn't work. Also, if you get boarded by the Coast Guard and your life raft's out of date, that's a big fine. So if you don't have the money to get it up to date, which I can't even imagine, if you have one, you don't have the money to get it up to date, then I don't understand, because it's going to save your life. Ask Alex Rogers. They were saved because of their life raft. But you want to make sure your life raft's up to date. Another thing super imperative that we don't think about very often is those flares. I'm sure you have that flare kit when you bought your boat. Your broker or your salesperson or whoever gave you a little bag of stuff, and he probably threw some flares in there and something to make noise like an air horn or a whistle. I'll bet your flares are out of date. If your flares are out of date, when you need them, they're not going to work. And also, if you get boarded by the Coast Guard and your flares are out of date, that's another fine. These are all things that are super avoidable, but you need, hey, Jimmy Pate, long time no see. All these things are super important to have on your boat. Everything has to be up to date. Here's another huge one I see all the time when I go on other people's boats. Your fire extinguishers, gang. Your fire extinguishers need to be serviced every year. Every year, those fire extinguishers need to be serviced. You need to go through and make sure that they're up to date. And if you haven't done it, it's time to do it. And there's plenty of companies you can call. Give them a call. Get somebody down there. Get your fire extinguishers up to date. Here's a huge one too. Your life jackets. Gang, you have to have, by law, a life jacket for every single person on the boat. Now, if you have children and you only have adult life jackets, shame on you. But go through your life jackets, make sure you have enough for everybody on the boat, and make sure that they're in good shape. Pull the straps. Make sure they're not going to fall off. They're not going to rip off. Make sure they have the reflective tape on there. Make sure if you're doing overnight trips, they have that light. They have, by law, you're supposed to, if you're out at night, you're supposed to have a light. I don't know why you wouldn't have a light anyway, because who knows? You go in the water at 11 o'clock in the afternoon and they might not find you till 10 o'clock at night. You better have a light on your life jacket. These are just things that we don't think about. We take it for granted. And another thing that's super important, gang, is that EPIRB, that emergency radio positioning beacon. That thing is gold. And when I run trips, I always tell everybody on the boat, somebody needs to grab that. If you guys fight over it as we're going down, that's okay. I don't care. As long as somebody's getting that EPIRB, because that's how they're going to find us. That EPIRB is super important. The minute that thing goes off, it's sending out a signal. All the planes in the air, you would be shocked at how many planes are in the air, but they're all getting that message that there's an emergency going on, and it's going to help the Coast Guard to find you out there on the water. Now, I know most of you are members of my website, so you're not fishing around a lot of boats. So it's going to be imperative that you have all your life-saving equipment, because you're not fishing for boats anymore, so you're not going to have a lot of boats around you. So you want to make sure all of this safety equipment is ready to go and that it's all up to date. Then you want to go down in your engine room and you want to make sure your bilge pump and your float switch and everything related to your bilge pumps are all in working condition. You want to make sure everything works. You don't want to wait until you get out there and go, yeah, I should have fixed that. Yeah, we were going to fix that last week, but we decided to go fishing instead. Get everything working, gang, because it can happen. It can happen just like that. The whole world can flip upside down on you, and you don't want to be caught with your pants down. You do not want to be. Thank Alex, he fishes every day. Thank God he had all the stuff he needed, and the life raft was ready, and everything was ready. So no lives were lost. That was spectacular. But you got to make sure you have everything in working condition. Your bilge pumps, your flares are up to date. Your emergency whistle or air horn, make sure it's up. It's got gas in the air horn. Make sure your whistle works. Make sure that your reflective tapes on your life jackets. Make sure that you have fresh batteries in your flashlights. Make sure, put together a ditch bag. There you go. Better than that. Just saw that come up. Put together a little ditch bag with a handheld radio in it, waterproof, a little bit of food, some water, some stuff that you're going to need if you end up in the water, in your life raft or whatever you're doing. But from this point forward, it's imperative to go through our boats and make sure we have all the life-saving equipment on the boat that we're supposed to have. A throwable life ring, super big deal. Super big deal. It should have the boat's name on it and what port the boat is from. That's one of the things that's pretty important to have on there, so that if something happens, they know what boat to be looking for when they find that ring floating in the ocean. All this stuff matters, and it matters a lot. And I'm a fisherman, and I love to fish, and I love to talk about fishing, and I love to take people fishing. You know that. But I thought that it was important to touch on this subject about safety, because most of us, most of the time, we take it for granted. And we just think, okay, whatever boat we're going on, whoever we're going with, they've got it covered. If you go on a sport boat, you notice in the beginning of the trip when they're leaving the harbor, they're going over the safety protocol. They're talking about the EPIRB. They're talking about the life jackets. They're talking about what happens in an emergency. I hope you guys are doing this on your private boat before you leave the dock. I hope you're going over this, explaining to your friends and family where the life jackets are, where the EPIRB is, where the flares are. In an emergency situation, if you're the only person on the boat that knows where all this stuff is, that's not going to work very well, gang. Because if you're the guy, you're the captain, you're the gal, you're in charge of this operation, and you're the only person that knows where all the life-saving equipment is, but you're trying to save the boat from sinking, and people are asking you where the stuff is, shame on you. You should have gone over it before you left. On the way out of the harbor, you should be going over a safety plan. I don't care if you're going out for 15 minutes or you're going out for days at a time. You should always go over the safety plan. Make sure everybody knows where the life jackets are. Make sure they know where the EPIRB is. Make sure they know where the flares are. All this stuff matters, gang. It's all going to save your life one day. We don't know. Nobody ever plans on sinking. No one ever plans on hitting the beach. No one ever plans on, that's not in our, we're not thinking about it, but boy, we better be prepared if it does happen. And my gosh, this week, it happened a lot. It happened a lot. I don't know. Maybe it was the moon. Who knows? But it happened a lot. Boats were crashing all over the place, sinking, burning. It's sad. That boat that burned at Catalina, another thing. Anything could happen at any given time. So please make sure that you Pay attention to this. And then when you're getting on your boat, get your people together before you untie the boat and just have a little safety. Hey, this is the life jackets. They're right here. They're right underneath this bench seat. Take one out. Show them how to put it on. If there's children on the boat, make sure that they have their life jackets. That's going to be imperative. If you don't have a child life jacket, they're going to slip right out of an adult life jacket. What a horrible experience that's going to be. So please pay attention. Check out all the gear. Make sure you're ready. Have a safety plan. Maybe sit down today at your office, because I know the last thing we want to do when we're at work is work. Sit down and write out a little safety plan for your boat. I don't care if it's a 20-foot sea swirl or a 80-foot Viking. Have a plan. Have a plan. It will help. Okay? So that's our show for today, gang. Don't forget, leave some stars. Take care of everybody. Be kind to each other. Turn off the news. They're all lying. And we will be back with you tomorrow with another great show. Don't forget, check out the Cortez 5. Go to the Okuma booth over there at ICAST. Check it out. Get one of these. You got to have one of these in your repertoire. Go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave some stars on our Facebook page. And I will be here for you tomorrow with another good seminar. Thanks. Bye. Kelly.